Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining this wonderful session on how to get a software job, which will be delivered by Mr. Phalguna Rao Bammidi. Today's speaker Phalguna has more than 6 years experience in software industry and has worked in various companies in his career. I request everyone to use this opportunity and interact with him and clear as many doubts as possible. Thank you so much and over to you, Phalguna.
Thank you so much, Sivaji, for that quick introduction. I would like to congratulate the Change Rural India NGO team for their outstanding contribution towards the welfare of the society and, in particular, the education in our state. I would also like to express my gratitude to the core CRI team for giving me this opportunity to share my experience on getting into the tips to get into a software industry and what it takes to stay in the software industry for a long period of time. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session. This session is primarily targeted for the students who are actually doing their third year and fourth years of engineering. However, all undergraduates and postgraduate students who are actually preparing for their campus placements or internships can actually refer to this particular presentation and make use of this presentation. And another main reason for preparing this presentation on software industry is that it's a well-known fact that, and also it's a derived fact that most of the engineering students who have been completing their engineering after 2010 have been placed in software industry, irrespective of their core engineering branches. And and it's a known fact that there are a lot of other opportunities. There are numerous opportunities, in fact, numerous job roles that are available. So if you're really looking for an opportunity or an opportunity to earn more right after your graduation or right after your post graduation, this is one of the biggest industries where you can look for and take some inputs from this presentation and make use of this presentation for your career. And I would also like to, try to give my best to put the information as simple as possible. But if you miss anything in the presentation due to some network issues, you can always visit the CRI YouTube channel where this video will be placed for the future reference. Let's quickly move to the presentation. Okay, before that, let me quickly give some information about myself. I've completed my graduation in mechanical engineering from RGPT, and currently I'm pursuing my master's in psychology from Indira Gandhi National Open University. In 2014, I got campus placement in Tech Mahindra, and then I worked in a couple of banks. Those are global banks. Global banks named Citibank, Wells Fargo, and DBS right now, which is a Singapore bank. And during my free time, I usually write articles and place them in my portal, which is on WordPress. So if you are having any interest, you can go there and read. And I'm also a Toastmaster. Toastmasters International is a public speaking forum where you can experiment your public speaking skills. So if you really wanted to learn something new on it, just type Toastmasters International in Google. You will get more information on it. And below are my contacts. And if you really need any other information other than in this presentation, you can directly approach me or the core CRI team so that they can connect you with me. I would love to help you in your career progress as far as software engineering is concerned or software job is concerned. All right, let's quickly move into the agenda of the session. By the end of this session, you will be able to understand and comprehend why you should look an opportunity in software industry and who can actually look for an opportunity, what are different job roles that are available, what are the skills that you need to get into, you need to master to get into a software industry, and what are the skills that you need to develop or inculcate while you are in the software industry to have a long career, and also some inputs about the taboo that we're having around the software industry jobs. We will have a quick Q&A session at the end of the presentation as well. All right, that's about the agenda. So please look forward for the presentation. If you miss any of the points during the presentation, again, please feel free to raise your hand at the end of the presentation so that we can take up the questions. And also, please try to use this video for the future reference. Go back to the YouTube channel that we're having, and as and when you get some kind of doubts, some kind of clarifications that are required, you can always come back to the CRI team so that we can help you with the hurdles that you face in this particular career. All right. So first things first, why we have to look for a job in software industry, especially. So it's a known fact and a proven fact that if you look at the value of this particular sector in the entire economy of the country, it's very huge, and it's the major sector that's contributing towards the economy. If you look at the direct employees, there are more than 4 million employees working in India itself, and the global expenditure also growing a lot. So there's a lot of promising career that we can expect in the software industry. Due to the increase of different technologies, due to the advancements in artificial intelligence and all other automation aspects, the new jobs that are getting created are a lot. So we can expect a promising career right after our graduation or right after our post graduation. And as we see, in the country, the increase in ecosystem of startups is growing like anything. Okay, everyone wants to build their own startup. Everyone wants to create an opportunity for the people to come and join their organization and excel in their organization. This kind of startup ecosystem that's been developed and supported by the state government and also by the central government have been really giving us an outlook that what kind of jobs or what kind of opportunities that we can look into this particular software industry. And also, if you look, if you compare this particular job with other industries jobs, right, there is a unique feature that you will be able to interact with global clients. The network that you can form here is unlimited. Once you join the industry, you will be able to work with different people on different countries, different continents. So you will understand what the cultures there, and your job will not be monotonous. It will be interesting. And also, often you will get a chance to travel to different countries and understand what exactly is happening there, and understand the broad picture of the entire economy, entire the sector, how it works, and thereby you will actually find yourself to start a new company. That's one of the main points. And also because of not having rigid rules in the industry, you will always have a chance to switch your career from regular software job to another career. Okay, there's no hard and fast rule with any of the organizations that you will be mapping. So it's always your choice. And if you're really interested in pursuing any of your hobbies as a career, you will get enough time to do it. So there's a lot of flexibility that you can find in switching your careers. And not but not least, this is one of the immediate opportunities to earn money. If you really wanted to support your family right after your graduation, this is one of the best options that I would say, because we have tried a lot of other options. Some of our seniors, even myself, have tried different options, and then I feel this is the right option if your family right now is needed with your financial support. So that's why I would say, this is one of the main industries and best industries as on today in 2020 to hop onto for any of the graduate to get into a job. Now I think you've got a clear understanding why we can actually look for a job in software industry. Uh, if you if you ask me more other details, I can definitely tell you. But then let's quickly move to the next slide, which is who can actually join the software industry. And it's a common notion, right, in most of the people that we need to have a computer science engineering degree, or we need to have a degree in information technology, right? We need to learn something related to different coding languages, right? We all have these kind of uh, these kind of notions. Those notions are not completely wrong. Those who are actually doing their computer science major or IT major, they will definitely get into this particular field. But then people who are uh, from other backgrounds as well. If you take any, there are a lot of close to 10 streams in BTech itself, right? So like metallurgical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, you take any different branches. But the thing is, if you really need, the reality is, see, the reality is getting into a job for other streams directly after graduation is little bit difficult right now, looking at the number of engineers that are getting produced every year, and also looking at the packages or economic support that is required. Right, so computer science engineering is one of the promising, or that particular field is promising field to earn relatively high packages compared to other engineering streams. So I'm not saying other engineering streams are less important, but then if you really need to support your family right after your graduation, this is one of the what I would say easiest and right opportunity to hop onto. Okay, uh, and this particular one more interesting fact that I wanted to tell you here. Okay, so at this point in time, in 21st century, right, there are a lot of cross skills that are being developed by each and every student. Even if you're, what I mean to say is, even if you're a computer science student, or if you're a civil engineering student, or a mechanical engineer student, you will be unknowingly involved with the technology that is surrounded with you. That means you are already ready to take an opportunity in that space, right? There's no rigid rule that you have to do computer science engineering or IT engineering, a degree in that particular space. In fact, there are a lot of top tech companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft. You take any of the top tech companies, they're already thinking in the lines of removing graduation as one of its main criteria while selecting people. But that mean they'll actually give an option to everybody in the in the society. They'll just if there is a position, they'll open that position to everybody. If you are talented, if you have that right skill set, if you have that right requirement for the position, you can just apply, and if you get selected, you'll get a job. It's as simple as that. So there's no I mean, my emphasis on this particular point is because is because you don't you if you are having a thought of I'm a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer, I'm not from the computer science background, can I really make into software industry? Yes, you can, because if you look at me, I'm a mechanical engineering in person, but then I'm having a career of 6 years in software industry. All right, and and about the people in this slide, I don't think any special introduction is required. The person on my left is Sundar Pichai, is a CEO of Alphabet and Google, who's owning a degree in metallurgical engineering. That's his bachelor degree. And person on the right is Satya Nadella, a CEO of Microsoft. He's owning a electrical engineering degree. And in the middle, our own chancellor, Professor Raj Reddy, was the first Asian to receive Turing Award for his contribution towards artificial intelligence, and also in the computer science field. So he's also from did his BTech in civil engineering. So what I really wanted to say here is, no matter which background you become, if you're really having a need and passion about the industry, you can directly hop onto it right after your graduation or post graduation. All right, let's quickly move into some of the technical details of the industry. This particular slide is a little bit technical. Please be, please have a little bit of consciousness towards it. And this particular SDLC, which is a software lifecycle development or software development lifecycle, uh, I think the people who are studying computer science engineering, they will be aware of what this cycle is and how it works. But then for the benefit of others, I would like to explain this particular cycle is a procedure which will be followed by every other software engineer in the industry to develop a particular software and push it to production and give it to a client or a person who is using. And there are broadly 6 categories in which which spans across requirement analysis, prototype building, coding, testing, production, and maintenance. Usually, what people will think and what the notion will be there in students' minds is that if I have to become a software engineer, I need to do coding. I need to learn some language, programming language, or I need to do some kind of stuff that's related to the core technology, algorithms, data structures, right? All these kind of notions will be there. Of course, if you're having all those knowledge in advance, that will be really useful. But then there are other jobs that are available in the software industry itself. Okay, so I would like to explain this cycle step by step. I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes of time to explain this. So the very first step in the software development life cycle is the requirement analysis. Right? There should be requirement. Otherwise, for whom you actually develop a software? You can take any of the examples. You can take different domains that are available. If you take a banking example, as we are regularly doing internet banking or mobile banking, right? So the main requirement of a banking industry is what? Initially, we used to go to a branch to transfer a money or to withdraw a money. Right now, what are we doing? We just use our mobile to transfer the money. It's as simple as that. We will just use some security measures using OTP, receiving a OTP, and then submitting it through online, and it's done. The task is done, right? So the requirement is money transfer without visiting the branch. That is the simple requirement that's available in the bank. So every bank, the person who is called a business analyst, right? Every bank will have somebody called business analyst. This is a particular role, and from the people who are living outside the software industry, this person will also be called a software engineer. UX designer, this person will also be called a software engineer. You take all the 6 roles: developer, tester, production engineer, support engineer, all of them are software engineers, right? It's not only the person who codes becomes a software engineer. Everybody else in the cycle, in this particular schema, will become a software engineer. Okay, so this is what business analysts do. The business analyst will actually try to gather the requirements, what exactly is required at the moment. For the right time, he will visit the client location, he will visit the customers, and then try to frame all the business requirements that are needed for the software. And then there is somebody called UX designer who will build the prototype. Prototype means it's a kind of sample screen. It's a basic image which will not have any functionality to do with. It's just a basic screen. This is a reference screen for the developers to take it a look and then develop their own components. So all the people who are working in this particular segment will be called as UX designers. And the next segment is coding, which is one of the main components in software development, because whatever you do, whatever you wanted to present to the entire outside world will not be visible to everybody. So the backend systems should be built in such a way using some of the languages which have been there since a long time to arrive at a right solution or a required solution. So that's the coding phase. This particular coding phase will be taken care by the developers. This I have given as full stack developer, but then there are different developers like UI developer who will actually develop only the front end application. There is something called backend developer who will actually develop the backend server application, and also some other roles in this particular space is also there. And the next phase is testing. Once the code has been developed, there should be somebody who tests the code before we release into production. Otherwise, we will not know how the system is behaving, right? So to test that, there are different tools available, different languages available, there is different procedures that are available to test any particular tool. So that particular space will be taken care by testers. Nowadays, we call them as full stack QA. This is QA is nothing but quality assurance. This quality segment will be there in any of the industries. You take any supply chain management, this quality will be there. Otherwise, we will not be aware of what is the quality of the particular product that we're going to release. And the next segment is production team. This particular team, what it will do, it will actually enable the application which is available to users. For the as we have discussed about the banking application, here users means the customers of the bank. So if the application needs to be available to the customers of the bank, this particular team will come and will have their own software tools to deploy that in the internet and will be available for all the people who are using it. The next stage, which is a maintenance stage, this particular stage is a continuous stage Once you do all this requirement analysis, prototype building, production, and all this stuff happens, the software needs to be maintained properly, right? Because everybody will, once you build the software and release it to a customer, it will be used for a long period of time, right? And in the case of banking applications, it is a continuous journey. We don't know when the customer might have an issue with his transaction, when the customer might have an issue with his credit card payment, right? So this particular team will actually support that particular functionality. So this is a broad understanding and broad roles. So now what I want you to imagine is, right after your graduation, you can become a software engineer, but then you can be in any of these particular roles. You can be a business analyst, UX designer, full stack developer, full stack QA production available, and you can be any one of them. And in the later phase of the slides, I will explain what are the skill set that is required at this moment to become this particular, to become or to imagine yourself in this particular role. Before that, let me move to the next slide, which will give you an idea on the current industry strategy that's been followed. There is something called shift left and also agile. So if you have a word agile, the word itself gives a meaning that which is rapid. Okay, so usually what happens in the past, right? A requirement analysis. After requirement analysis, we come to prototyping, we come to development, testing, and then release it to production. This entire life cycle will take for a period of 6 months to 7 months or 8 months, and customers will not wait till then, right? Nowadays the priorities are being changed, the customer expectations are being changed. So the industry is also moving and also trying to develop the software as fast as possible and deliver it to the customers as early as possible. So that is the main reason why, if you can see, the phases have been shrunken, and the roles that you can see in the previous slide, like requirement analysis and prototype building, coding and testing, production and maintenance, have been crumbled together, and then new roles have been created. So now, at this point in time, if you want to join the software industry, you should be having a blend of skills. It's not only coding, it's not only testing. Or if you really wanted to become a business analyst, you should also have knowledge on how to create the prototypes, because you are the one who will be collecting data from the clients, and you should be able to understand, you should be able to utilize what kind of tools that are available in the market, and then draw the corresponding prototypes and give it to developers. Similarly, in testing and coding space, right? Till now, what was happening? The developer, once he gets the requirement from business analyst, he will develop it. That's his job. That's it. And then he will pass on it to the testing phase. And people who are staying in the testing, they will actually take care of all testing. If the software is not working, he will again go back to the developer, complain about it, and then it will be rectified, and then again he will test. This is a repeated rigorous cycle. So now a person who is coding, he should be able to test the software as well using the topmost technologies that are available in the current market. And also in production and maintenance, these are no more two different functions. There is only one role, which is production support. So the person who is deploying will be responsible to maintain the software annually or whatever the time period that they actually planned for. Because of this crumbling, right? One reason is this crumbling. Second reason is the advancements in different technologies that are available right now. In terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of machine learning, automation, you take any of the top technologies, right? All the advancements in this particular technologies have been created new job roles for the past software engineers. So I would really guide you at this moment. You, instead of going to these particular pre roles like a business analyst or a coder or a production engineer, you should actually look for the skills. What are the skills that are required to become a DevOps engineer or a data scientist or an AI/ML specialist? These are hot jobs right now, and these jobs have been opening their gates forever. And a lot of research has been going into these particular spaces to create new jobs, to give more opportunities, and to bring more more kind of innovative products to this particular technology space. Let me quickly give you some introduction new phase that came in this particular so now they combine both of them, takes care about the continuous deployment, right? Initially in the past team, they need to do some kind of, they need to use some tools to deploy an application from one particular phase to the next particular phase, one particular environment to the next particular environment. So it will take a lot of time. Now we want everything to be automated. We need to build a particular pipeline which will actually take care of everything, which will remove some of the manual effort that we are going in. When I'm saying removing manual effort, that doesn't mean removing jobs. Okay, so when there is something that's being removed, something new will be created. So this particular segment have been created to automate the manual efforts that's been happening, or that's been taken care by all the software engineers over the weekends, over the midnights, right? So this is a space where you have to learn about the continuous deployment and continuous integration tools. I will also give you some insights about the skills that are required about this particular role. And also the second role is data science, which is about collecting the data and then analyzing the data and then making decisions out of that particular data. And we have seen the growth of this particular domain like anything. You take any of the internet of things that's happening right now. You take your mobile, you take your the gadget that's there in your home. You take Amazon, you take different interactive objects that are there right now have been creating a lot of data. And we, or the business for that matter, they want to analyze what kind of data that's being coming in, what kind of new innovations that we can make using that particular data. Okay, a simple example of IoT is now we wanted to make everything automated, right? As we're talking about banking applications, now we have connected our bank application with our phone number, right? We can authenticate or we can send an OTP, we can authenticate with that OTP to how much money to transfer, to whom we need to transfer, right? This particular engagement has been already done. And also on the other space, if you see the IoT, which is Internet of Things, where things will actually generate data, they will observe the regular utilities that we are using in terms of our phones, in terms of our refrigerators in the kitchen, in terms of the lamps that are there in the home, right? All these are actually creating a lot of data. So if you're having a IoT refrigerator, okay, which is generating everything, which is actually looking for some of the things that are happening in your refrigerator itself. For example, you are out of milk for a particular day, and if your refrigerator can give that information back to an application, back to a banker, and the bank can actually send you some notification saying that you are out of the milk, and we want, if you really wanted to get some milk ordered to you, you can just authenticate using this OTP so that the milk will be delivered next day. So that's where we're going. So the entire system has been automated. So the bank, from the banking to the utility to your home, everything will be automated. So there's a lot of data generated, and this particular use case will be coming from this particular data science field, right? Everything will be analyzed, everything will be captured, and then decisions will be taken by the so-called big companies. And the next field is artificial intelligence. I don't think a special introduction is required for this, because whatever we are doing right now, in the field of technology, there's a lot of research that's going in artificial intelligence and machine learning, in terms of blockchain and augmented reality, virtual reality. All these are coming up. So this is another interesting field that you need to look into. Now that we've seen, because of this shift left, what happened, how the jobs are changing, and what are the new jobs that are being created. Now let's look into the skill set that is required at this point in time, being a bachelor degree holder or getting into the fourth year or third year of bachelor degree. So these are the roles that I have already discussed in the previous slide, but then I'll quickly give you some insights on the skills that are required. So if you really wanted to become a business analyst, right? As I mentioned earlier, what the business analyst will do, he will actually meet the clients, he will actually meet the customers, and then try to analyze their problem, try to analyze the requirement, and get back to us, right? All this takes a lot of communication, a lot of thinking that's been put in, right? And a lot of analysis that's required. So once the analyzation has been made, he will give whatever inputs he has to the client, and then come back to the developers and explain the same thing, saying that the client is required this. If you want to develop this, how much time will it take? if the developers come back to BA will go back and again explain it to the client. All this information exchange is happening through communication itself. So communication takes a lot of importance in the business analyst field. If you really wanted to excel as a business analyst, if you feel that you right now you can communicate really well, you can be a proactive communicator in terms of your verbal skills, in terms of your written skills or imagination thinking, all this, if you really feel that you're having good presentation skills to a larger audience, you will be a right choice. And another thing is, if you are having uh, if you're having I'm sorry, there's a mark here, but that's okay. So if you're having these kind of skill set, right? So all these communication related skills, if you really have, then it's a right choice. And also, obviously, if you need to get into a job right after your BTech, this is the right option. And there are different tech tools also available. If you there's no hard and fast rule that you need to learn these tools right away, but then have a knowledge on this and try to look for these tools in the internet, and then try to familiar with the tools. And once you have the campus placements on, or if you're attending any of the interviews, probably you can specify that I'm from this background and I have this skill set, and I'm really wanted to be a business analyst. I've learned so and so tools. That kind of attitude will actually get you to a business analyst role. And the second role is UX designer, which is for which the person who is trying to get into this particular role needs to have a visual thinking, and there are different tools that are available to prepare those particular screens, which will be used in the latter phases of the development. Right, this person is responsible. The UX designer is responsible to create or to mimic the screens, to mimic the actual requirement, which will not be working, but then will be used as a reference for the developers to use. And there are different tools that are available, like Sketch, Adobe XD, Mock Plus, iDoc. There are other tools. I've just listed a few. So if you have some time and if you really wanted to, get into this particular role, I really ask you to go back to the internet and verify these tools and learn about wireframing and UI prototyping. And coming to the next job, which is a full stack job, and most of the people outside the software industry thinks only this is the software job. When somebody says that I'm a software engineer, we tend to imagine that he is coding or using some programming language to develop. So this particular role requires few of the skills among the skill set: HTML and CSS, JavaScript. I think from the people who are from the different backgrounds other than CSC and IT will find it a little bit alienistic, but then it's fine. You don't have to, if you're not having any programming language, it's fine, absolutely fine. You can choose any other role. If you really wanted to learn programming, then it's easy to learn program. So any of the skills among HTML, JavaScript, or any backend languages like PHP, Java, HTTP request, and then the database language like SQL. Okay, I can give you one tip here. There are 3 different layers in development: backend, frontend, and database. So you can at least learn one language from one particular segment. That's it. You will become a full stack developer. That's all you need to become a full stack developer. So right now, if you have the skill in any of these 3 segments, one front end language, one backend language, and one database language, that's all you need. You just have to master the skills, refresh the skills, and get ready for your campus placement. And the next role that's been the next roles that are available are full stack QA, data scientist, and AML specialist. Full stack QA is something related to the testing space, wherein initially we used to have something called manual testing, where we have different documents that are available to go through. We will go through all the manuals and we will verify whether a particular software is being developed properly or not, and then we will report that. So basically, when I say quality assurance, there should be an audit process, there should be a reporting. So if you feel that you are having a little bit of observation skills, and then your analysis is really good, and you want a job right after BTech, then I think this is one of the main roles that you can look for. And also nowadays, the particular testing space have been changed, and they are also expecting some kind of coding knowledge that's been already imparted to the particular candidate. So you can learn any of the languages like Java, Python. Python is the best. Java is also. I mean, we can't say which one is best. But then at this point in time, if you have knowledge on any of the languages that I'm listed here, Java, JavaScript, or Selenium, CI/CD pipelines, it's well and good. If you don't have, learn at least one technology, and then get ready for your campus placement or any of the interviews that you wanted to attend. When it comes to data scientists, right, the statistics part is very high, because if you really wanted to become a data scientist, you need to understand what a data scientist will do or data science specialist will do. He will actually look into different data sets that we observe, because if you see on every day, right, day-to-day life, there's a lot of data getting generated, and we need somebody to look into the data and then give us some data points, so that we can again come back to an innovative solution, so that that will make our lives easy. So we need people who are really good at data exploration techniques, and then having a good understanding on statistics concepts in the mathematics. And obviously, some kind of programming language is required. And currently, the main languages that are being used are Python, R, and Java. If you have any of the language skills, you can look for this particular opportunity. And obviously, you need to learn some of the algorithms that are related to the data analytics in terms of machine learning algorithms, and some big data algorithms are also there, processing algorithms. So it's always good to have that kind of exposure before you get into the job. And it's very clear that the person who is having a prior knowledge on the big data processing frameworks or machine learning algorithms, they will be having a huge opportunity among the others to get into this particular role. And this is one of the most sought after role in 21st century, one of the highly paid jobs as well. And the next one is AI/ML specialist. This is artificial intelligence and machine learning. We can't actually separate data scientist and AI/ML specialist, because most of AI/ML systems, artificial intelligence systems, need a lot of data. But then one thing to differentiate is AI/ML specialist will actually train the models. There are different models and different ways to train a model. When I say model, we are creating different artificial bots. They are not humans, they are bots. They will try to help us to do the manual work that we've been doing. And also, um, in the space of artificial intelligence, right? We've been using a lot of data techniques and data training techniques. We have different models of training, like supervised model, unsupervised model, and all other rational models, which will be used to train the bot, and then use it in the real time environment for the better use of the public. So this particular role is also similar to data scientist role, but we should actually have knowledge on on some algorithms and then some mathematical understanding. Probability and statistics is one of the main concepts that you need to know, because you need to observe the data and then guess what kind of problems that might come up, or what kind of solutions that might pick. Right? You need to have that kind of probabilistic view to understand and pull out some reasons from data points and give them to the business, so that they'll take the decisions. And some languages are also some knowledge on language is also required. Python and R, Java, C++ are good enough, but then you need not to have all the languages. You can have any one of the language. And these are some of the 6 roles. There is something common in all the roles. One programming language is very good to have. That can be Java or Python. And believe me, we can learn any of the language in 20 to 30 days. That's more than enough. And 1 hour a day is more than enough. So those who really wanted to get into a software industry job, I would really recommend to have one language as a programming language, and one SQL language, one database language. That will be really helpful. Another common point is the domain experience or domain expertise that we are showing here in every of the knowledge, every of the roles. This particular domain knowledge, I wanted to I explain this in the next slide, but then I just want to reiterate that there is something called domain expertise, which is required in every of the roles that we're talking about. Let's simply go to the next slide, which will give us the domain knowledge and what are the domains that the entire society has been interviewed. Even if you attend the campus placement interview, or if you come out and then attend any of the other interviews that are being happening, if you are having domain knowledge, you will be there is a high chance of you getting selected for that particular role. You take any of the domains, all these domains require a software, because that's what we are heading now. Everything is getting digital, every domain is getting digital, and we're trying to remove all the manual intervention that's been happening in every field. So there's a lot of opportunity to look for the automation, to look for the AML jobs that are being generated, and to look for the data science jobs that are being generated. So so that's my advice for now. Let's quickly move to the next slide, which will give you some information about the taboo that we have on software industry. And it's been highly believed that the software industry jobs are very volatile, and they've been there is a high chance of losing the job when there is a recession. And people usually term it as a software recession, which happens, probably for every 10 years. But then I just want to read, I'm in the industry for the past 6 years, and I got pretty much, understanding on how the industry is actually working. So as far as myself is concerned, there's no such thing called software recession. There will be only economic recession. When we say economic recession, and if you're having economic recession, it will not only impact software industry, but it will impact every other industry. You take any of the manufacturing industry, or you take the supply chains will be broken, and so when there is an economic recession, it's a known fact that every other industry will have the impact. Every other unorganized sector will have an impact. So you don't have to worry about that. If there is an economic impact, recession, jobs will be lost. Because there is a secret to retain your job. That is why this taboo has been generated. If you look at those points, you will understand what it takes to stay, for a longer career in software industry. So why this taboo? Because most of the people who have joined the industry like 10 years back, or more than 6-7 years back, they were having a separate skill set. And from the last, if you observe the last 5 years, the industry has been changing a lot. A lot of new technologies have been coming into the market. Each and everyone who has a skill has an opportunity to develop his own language, his own tool, and deliver it, and give it to the entire world to use. That's how we will make money here. So the people who are not able to upgrade themselves, or learn new technology, it's a the risk of their job is high, because they're not able to cope up with the current environment. But then that is expected in any of the other sectors as well. You take any of the manufacturing industry, if there's a new machine comes, and if you're not able to utilize that machine, or able to use that machine for the production, you're out of the job. Somebody who will be able to handle the machine will come in your place. It's the same way. So if you're not able to learn new technology that's being pushed into the market, you're gone. And also another thing is stagnating the same company. This is what most of the legacy people will do, like who got job in like before 2010, before prior to that. They will always love to stay in the same company with same skill set. It's not wrong to stay in same company with a different skill set, but if you are having same skill set, it's obviously a dangerous sign. And also we should be able to look for opportunities in the industry. If you are really capable enough to hop onto a new opportunity, capable enough to handle bigger things, it's always good to leave your comfort zone and then move to that opportunity. So you don't have to worry about getting into a software job and thinking that the software recession might come and then I might lose my job. Okay, and what you have to understand and decide at this moment is, if you are really looking for a job right after your BTech, if you're really looking for a job right after your PZ, this is one of the right industries, because we are in the 21st century, 2021, and the technology boom is very much high. It's in peaks. So this is the right opportunity to get into any of the software jobs that I mentioned here. So don't have any other thoughts about the job security and stuff. I know we all learn with each and every day that passes. But then don't have any other taboos that are attached to the industry. Just have confidence in yourself. Learn the new technologies. Learn any of the languages that are available, and then learn some domain knowledge. That will be more than enough to get into a job right after your BTech. Okay, so let's quickly move into the next slide, which will give you an insights. All right, once you get the job into a software industry, how do you sustain in the industry? Because it's not easy to sustain in the industry. It's a little bit difficult because, as I mentioned earlier, there are some set of special skills that are required to sustain in software industry for a long period of time. So that's those three skills that I've mentioned here. One is communication, another is networking, another is upskilling. As I mentioned earlier, communication is very much important in not only software engineering or software field, but also for in any of the other fields as well. So the people who are watching this particular video can refer to themselves in their own industry. These particular three skills like communication, networking, and upskilling will help you in any of the industries that you're working in. When I say communication, right, you should have a proactive communication, okay? And you should have the communication when you're talking with people. It matters more in software industry because you will be interacting with a lot of global clients. You will be interacting with people from different continents, different countries. Their slangs will be different, their the speaking style will be different, their approach will be different. So you should be able to understand their slangs, you should be able to interpret what they're saying and then respond it properly back. So that is one thing which we need. And when we're talking about global, right, there is only one language which helps us to communicate. That's English globally. So I would really recommend to practice more on your English skills, speak as much as possible. And then when it comes to my thing, right, I have actually started writing and I've started giving speeches, seminars, and hosting meetings. All these kind of things will actually help me. I mean, are actually they're helping me to, build up my skills in this particular space. Probably you might be really, I wanted to give another instance here. Probably you might be working really hard. Once you join the team, once you join the industry, you might be working really hard. But if you're not able to showcase that work, or if you're not able to proactively come out and then say that this is what I'm doing, there are high chances of your manager thinking that you're not doing anything. So it's not a show off, but it's a proactive communication. You should always come out and then speak for yourself very clearly, and then make yourself, ready for the next opportunity that's available. So start practicing proactive communication, verbal and written. I'm sorry, and because when I say software industry, a lot of communication that's been happening through emails as well, and emails will pass throughout the internet. So it's always good to have writing skills, better writing skills. So that will actually save a lot of time, and that will actually save you from getting into some kind of miscommunication things. Another thing that is very important is networking. Once you join the organization, or even if you're still being as a student, you can actually learn. You can actually try to build your network. That is something which will actually give you an opportunity, and that will actually show you a path, right? Show you a path how to get into this particular industry, because we never know, our circle will be very confined to our friend zone. But then if you increase your network zone, you will be able to see the opportunities that are available outside your network zone. How do you maintain your network zone? It can be offline, online, or friend zone. When I say online, you can maintain, there are different forums that are available like LinkedIn, or Instagram, Facebook. There are different forums available. have a healthy conversation on those profiles, and then build your network, build your rapport. And you're in a way you're having your seniors, try to contact your seniors, try to contact your peers, and then build your network, so that if at all you need any information related to any new job, or if you really wanted to change a job, it will be really helpful. You can approach them, have a healthy relation with your peers, so that you will not find much difficulty even if you want to change your job from current organization to the next organization. So, so to build the network, you can just follow this, like online, offline, and friend zones. Have a healthy networking, and then have a strong career. The next important thing is upskilling. When I say upskilling, right, once we get into a job, we will be busy in our daily work, in our day-to-day deliverables. We know a particular language. For example, you tried for a developer job, and every day a lot of work will be coming to you, and you have to write a lot of code. But then you are doing good. Okay, whatever is coming to you, you are doing, you're delivering. But then if you're not able to upscale yourself to the new languages that are coming into the market, or new skills that are coming into the market, people remember every year a lot of people are coming into the market with a new skill set. So it's very important to match yourself to those people, right? So it's always important to stay relevant, to stay to the market, whatever is required to the current market. Always have a positive attitude to learn that particular language, or that particular technology, or that particular communication skill, so that it will help you in your progressing in your career. And also, whatever you learn, you have to apply by learning it. This particular thing is pretty much familiar to us, which is learning by doing. We've been doing it since a long time. Whatever we learn, we actually apply it, we actually try it in our machines, we actually try it in the society. If you're learning how to speak, how to give a seminar, go out and talk to your friends, talk to a larger audience, so that you will practice it. If you're learning a new skill, participate in different webinars or different hackathons that are being online, that's being handled online, so that you will whatever you learn, you will actually apply there, and then stay relevant to the particular technology is concerned. So you can do a lot of online courses that are available, some market studies that are there, so that you will be always upgraded with the latest news that's being available in the market. So these three are very much important to stay in any of the industries. It's not only software industry. So I would recommend at this point in time, being you are in your third year of BTech or fourth year of BTech, it's very important to practice. You have a lot of time right now, so just practice all these skills. Try to build healthy networks. Try to have a communication which is a proactive communication kind of thing. And also, if you're not having any skill, or if you're having some skill with lesser accuracy, you can actually practice it, and then make yourself ready for the job. All right. So now that we have almost reached to the end of the presentation, I'd like to emphasize on the overall topics that we have discussed as of now. So these are the skills which you can see on the screen. Hope everybody able to see the screen. So the skills that are there on the screen, the table that is there on the screen, is very much important to get any person to get into a software job in 2021. Okay, so you need to have right communication, which is proactive communication. Your network should be very strong, so that you will get the information where the opportunity is available. You don't have to travel to the opportunity, just build your network, and then network will let you know where the opportunity is. And upskill, if there is a requirement, if you're not having that enough skill, just try to practice that skill, and then let the opportunity know that you are having that skill, and you can be hired easily. And these three skills will be suitable for any of the industries, not only the software industry. And if you see on the bottom, you have something called data structures and algorithms. These two are very much important if you are really looking for a career as a data scientist, or an AML specialist. Even if you are looking for a developer role, these are very much important. So if you are in your third year or fourth year BTech, just try to understand what are different data structures available and what are algorithms, different algorithms available in the industry. And this is something like core knowledge, but then there is something called pseudo code which is available in the course. So you can just observe and then learn and have an idea. If you're from different background other than CSE or IT, just search for data structures and algorithms, have a glance on it. That will actually enable you to crack the interview. And from the three boxes that you can see here, right? One is a backend language, middle is this front end language, and on the right is the database language. So you need to have at least one language from Java, one language from front end, and one language from database to become a full stack developer. So if you are aiming at full stack developer, along with communication, networking, and upskilling, you need to have Java, JavaScript, or SQL, or any of the other languages like Python, Angular, NLP, network link, natural language processing. You see, there are different things are there. I'm not saying you need to have all the skills. The mandatory skills are communication, networking, and upskilling, data structures, and algorithms. But then one from each box in the middle will be sufficient to get into a software job in 2020 and 21. And that's all I have for today. I think you got a broad understanding on what exactly is the requirement, how the industry is changing, why we need to get into this particular software role, and what is your particular position. See, if you really have to earn some money and support your family at this point in time, I would request you, and then I would suggest you to look into this software industry as an option. You can also check for other industries if you really feel that you can do very much well in that particular industry. You can obviously hop onto that. Otherwise, if you ask my suggestion, this is the right industry that you can look for having a long software industry career. So that's all from my side. Just try to understand the skills that you need. If you are mastering all the skills, whichever I told, at least one of the languages, and then communication, networking, and upskilling, that will be sufficient to take you or to raise your salary of 6 digits a year to 6 digits a month. That's all. Thank you so much. Um, I would really love to take up any questions. But then, if you miss anything from the session, you can always go back and see the video, which is available on CRI YouTube channel. And if you have any other questions, you can directly contact me or the CRI team so that they can actually direct it to me. That's all I have. Thank you so much. Over to you, Subhash.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Falgun. That was very insightful and in-depth analysis that you have given on software industry. I think it will be enough for people who are aspiring to get into software industry, not only for students but all the. Thank you so much for giving this session. If there are, yeah, you can see there are our social media platforms. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be getting all these videos. Now now we are open for the questions. If there are any questions from the participants, you can ask. You can speak in Telugu also. There is no necessity that you have to speak in English. If you have any questions, just ask the speaker in Telugu.
Feel free to ask the questions. We're not aliens, and I hope we can answer whatever the questions that you have. If you really love to have a career in the industry, or even I'm